Hello, everybody.
What is going on?
I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday and everything is to your liking.
Right. Hopefully everyone's brackets aren't doing too bad,
Oh, so many brackets are already destroyed, though. So many.
Not me, man. Not me. Mine's still pretty good. Last I checked, I was in 6th place, but I was only like 10 or 20 points behind the leaderboard.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I decided not to participate this year because I didn't really follow any of the college ball.
Yeah, I don't follow college ball as is. It's just
It's fun
I'm
to
just
participate.
playing to play. Yeah. Well, especially when there's a $50 gift card for Buffalo Wild Wings involved. So it's like, I'm a
Well, if
try winning.
Loki wins, I'll have to go over there and go get dinner.
We're gonna have to go get some wings.
Can't forget the beer. Come on now.
Right.
Oh,
So how have you been, man?
I've been pretty good. Had a kind of a rough week, as you know.
Yeah.
Um, but for everybody who
Handle
doesn't
all.
know, I have what was it? Middle of last year that it kind of started happening.
Yeah, it was
A little bit towards the end.
little bit towards the end because I remember it was like Thanksgiving time.
Um, so finally figured out what exactly is going on. I have a condition where my tears like to crystallize, and what'll happen is in my sleep when they crystallize, um, in your sleep you'll open your eyes or your eyelids will move to a certain point. Well, that crystal will kind of fall off into the eyelid, and when I close my eye, it causes the crystal to move up to the upper part right up here, and when I blink it causes severe pain and can scratch my cornea.
Gross. There. That
um
sounds painful too.
oh, trust me, because when you're sitting there trying to open your eye and you just feel a slight tinge of pain, and then that entire movement of you trying to open your eye is causing more and more pain.
Yeah. That
um
sounds painful.
So, and then the worst part about it is it's not even the pain that's the worst part, in all honesty, Loki. The worst part about it is I physically can't control the tears. I will literally look like I had been like ugly crying for an hour. And it's a stream, like literally streams of teardrops will come down. You'll see them fall through my beard, down to my shirt. I've woken up with pools of tears on my bed. Um,
sounds like
like, yeah,
sounds like a very wet dream.
in the wrong area. But
Man.
I ended up getting some new eye drops. Went to the doctor, got some eye drops that will help me prevent that in the future. And then I also got another thing of eye drops. So I got 3 different eye drops that I have to use. Well, 2 I have to use, and 1 on necessity.
Yeah.
But other than that, I missed a couple days of work. But on the plus side, I got a lot of RuneScape time in during all this.
You and that RuneScape. Speaking of games, man, we got quite a big hot week.
Now, hold on just a second. You ain't getting out of this. How'd your week go, bud? You can't. You're not just jumping out of this.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just working on a lot of the things for what's to come for the podcast. Finally pulled up a YouTube channel for us. So if you guys actually go on YouTube and look up the Asgardian Pub podcast on YouTube, you will find us there. Another thing is I've also been doing some work on a Discord, so that way you guys can all keep in touch with us, have some time asking us questions, give us some topics that we want to use, or even give us ideas of who you would like for a guest on the podcast. I have actually reached out to quite a few people for our podcast, that be including
I wouldn't give names yet.
well, we can
We
give
we, we
names.
no, we can't. No, we
We
can't.
talked about it last stream.
Yeah, but we haven't. Hey, let's keep it a suspense. They don't know if they've confirmed or not. We've talked about examples, but not guarantees.
We'll just say this: some of those people have agreed.
Exactly. When the time comes, we want to make it a surprise for y'all, so that way, whenever you do tune into the podcast, whether it's live or YouTube or the other platforms at which we plan on getting going, you have some excitement.
Oh
That's
yeah.
one of the best parts about this. Also,
Uh,
you forgot a little bit of something.
what's up?
The first thing you made,
First thing I made.
yeah, for the
You talking about?
podcast, for the social medias.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We do have a Twitter now too, as well. We are getting some more artwork and stuff done, so please be patient on bannering us with the no banner, no nothing.
Now, I will say
We do
this for
we
those
do have
who,
a profile pic.
that's what
We
I was
do
about to
have a
say. For those who, I personally have not gotten the folder for it yet. But I do want to give a big shout out to one of our artists, Panda, made this awesome display for the top of the page here. B Whistle, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Um, Panda made this for us for whenever we go live. I think it's really dope. A lot better than the lightning background that we had before. But yeah, make sure to check out the Asgardian Pub on Twitter and YouTube. Give us a follow, especially if you're enjoying the podcast. Be greatly appreciated. And as soon as we can, once we get enough followers on YouTube, we'll have a third place to stream to other than Kick Twitch. We will be also streaming to YouTube as well.
Yeah. So if you guys don't mind, head on over and subscribe. Turn on your notifications too, because I have been uploading all the videos on YouTube as well.
And what Loki
Dread
doesn't
Thor's.
know right now is I've been looking into a few other things for us for the podcast, which
Oh,
would be I'm looking at transcribing our podcast into different languages.
oh that's pretty
Um,
cool.
so far, I have found a couple sites that allow us to do this and learned how to take that information from those sites and put it into YouTube for it. But it's still in a work in progress. So for the people that are from different countries, um, the first one we're going to be doing definitely is Spanish. It'll be Spanish subtitles in there. But there's no free way that I have found to do this. So you're going to have to give us a little bit of time, but eventually all our videos will be transcribed into different languages.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome, actually. For those of you that don't know, we do a lot of our podcasts over there on Dread Thor's Kick and Twitch. I am currently working on building a Twitch page for us,
And
while
Kick page.
also and Kick page, yes, while also adding in all of the how'd you say it? All of the artwork and everything else into it. So please be patient with me. Like I said, I am working on it. I am a very busy man. So
And in case any of you are wondering, Loki's very good at setting stuff up like this.
yes,
So
I
he's
try to anyways.
he's really good at setting that type of stuff up. I'm really good at setting up the streams and getting that done and stuff like that. I've been doing streaming for a very long time, and when it comes to OBS and slobs and all that, it's kind of like a little thing I've picked up over the years.
Yeah,
And
I am not that good. I'll be honest with you, but we're learning. We're learning.
that's what it comes down to. To get better, you must do. And I've watched Loki from the first day I met him till now, and he's definitely gotten 100 times better than when I first saw him.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
he one thing I can say about Loki is he asks questions, and I respect that.
yeah.
If you're ever having a hard time with streaming or stuff like this, feel free to ask us questions. It's one of those things that we're decent at answering.
Yep. Also to touch base with you guys as well, I am gonna be currently working on getting our own code for something here pretty soon. I'm not gonna give anything away yet, but I am gonna be working on something. While also
Is
I'll
this
be doing
something that I know of?
no, actually you don't know this yet.
Uh oh.
Surprise.
Everybody coming in with the surprises today.
Um, because I am a manager over on one of my actual sponsorships, I am going to be
Oh, I know exactly.
working on working on some things here pretty soon. So stay tuned for the next episode because I may have some work done.
Bum, bum, bum.
But but man, we got a lot to talk about this week.
Oh, yes,
Not
we do.
not only do we have Assassin's Creed dropping.
It's already dropped as of this podcast.
Well, dropping as in I haven't played it yet. But then again, I have never really played an Assassin's Creed game. I know you have, so I'm gonna let you take the wheel on this one.
All right. In case y'all don't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows just released on the 20th of this month, which is March for future viewers and everything like that. And in case you're wondering, here is the artwork for that. We're going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. It is pretty dope. It is based in Japan. And I gotta say, this one has really piqued my interest. I've been a huge Assassin's Creed fan since day one. Showing my age.
See, I can't really say anything. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game. It's just I don't know, the parkour center lanes don't really
Hey,
take my
it's
peak
not for
interest.
everybody. You know.
No. I, so just so everyone in the audience knows, I am actually a huge fan of and you can hate me for it, like Call of Duty, Hearthstone, which
you should just
is a
say
card game.
FPSs.
Well, I also play Call of Duty, but I also play a lot of PoE and Diablo. So I'm a everywhere kind of guy, but I just could never get into the Assassin's Creed.
See, I'm personally not a huge fan of Diablo.
Oh man,
Like
Diablo.
I think the concept of it's really great, but for me, it's not one of those things I can really sit down and get into.
Yeah, Diablo 3 was. I've played Diablo 2, enjoy it, but Diablo 3 is where I kind of started. So it was just out there. And when I played Diablo 3 was already out for a while, and Diablo 4 hadn't been announced yet. It was Diablo, I forget what it was. It was like some mobile game. And I just couldn't get into it. Like, I couldn't get into the mobile game, but Diablo 3 was my thing. But let's talk about this Assassin's Creed because I've seen mixed reviews about it. Like a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of mixed reviews.
So one of the big things that a lot of people are having is the sheer fact of how long it took for Ubisoft to come out with the Japan side, considering it's been 20 years and it's a stealth game, and Japan's known for this type of stuff. So that's one of the big issues that the community I've been looking into has been having. The sheer fact, one of the most interesting aspects of this is you're not just a solo player in this. You have two main characters that you're playing as, which pretty freaking cool in my book. And as same as Loki, I have not played it yet. I will be getting it next Friday. But so you got two main characters you play as, and we're not going to go into a whole lot of details about the game today. There will be a part 2 for this, especially after I've had some time to put some hours in. But I did want to share a few of the big review aspects of the game, and that would have to be the review ratings. Now, as we all know, IGN is one of the biggest places a lot of gamers look at for review content. We got that. We also got PC Gamer, and we got Metacritic.
I was gonna say we got Gamer Rant, we got Metacritic, we also have Game Informer too.
Oh, I forgot about Game Informer.
So okay, I not trying to jump off topic here, but Game Informer, I don't know. I've got my ups and downs with Game Informer.
Is Game Informer still top tier, or are they more like D tier now?
No, they're lower tier now. Game Informer also for a year or two, and I have fought them for it, which to the point where I canceled my subscription to them. Game Informer actually switched to digital without telling anyone.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then I asked them, to start sending me books again or the magazines again because I loved the cover arts on them. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Game Informer. And then they're like, okay, yeah, blah blah blah. And then next thing you know, I'm still getting digitals, and I was paying for the
Hard copy.
hard copies, and they just kept arguing and arguing. So it is what it is.
These corporations.
Yeah.
So one of the things, so the reviews, I got a fourth one up here, which is just Google reviews, and this honestly surprises the hell out of me. So we're going to start with the IGN, which IGN they gave it the game an 8 out of 10, which is really good. PC Gamer 80% out of 100. So essentially 8 out of 10. Metacritic 81%. Cross the board 8 out of 10s for the top 3. Now, this is the thing that surprises me. This is based off of these companies. This is based off of their testers. This is based off of how they determine their reviews and everything like that. Google is where it's going to get y'all because it is currently rated at 2.6 out of 5. With 3,340 reviews, a 2.6. And it's either a 5-star or a 1-star and a couple 2, 3, and 4s. It's a very mixed review.
Yeah, I've saw a lot of banter on it that it's just a clunky mess, but I don't know. Ubisoft as of lately has been dropping the ball on a lot of their games.
I will
What
not
was it?
disagree.
That Star Wars one dropped the ball,
I personally did not
and
look into
then
that one, but I did not hear good things.
it was okay. So I touched a little bit on that. I mean, I've played a little bit of it and honestly hate it. It's it was just absolutely a buggy mess. The AI would just completely run into walls, get you killed no matter what, and then like you can hit someone and they take no damage whatsoever, and then it's just a clunkier mess than what Assassin's Creed is right now, like movement mechanical wise. Like I've seen some spots in the new Assassin's Creed from just watching some streamers play it and all that. And there's some times where the movement lags and like gets kind of stuck up. But then there's times where it's like perfect. And it's I don't know. It's another Ubisoft game, and Ubisoft, to be honest, has been like Call of Duty for the past couple of years where they're just rushing out and putting out games left and right
To be
to
fair,
try get
I
to
gotta
try getting their fan bases going.
I gotta say this on here. Um, Assassin's Creed Shadows was pushed back 3 times.
Yes.
Um,
But you gotta think of it this way: without those pushbacks, because of all the backlash they've gotten for the past couple of games, you've got to take in perspective. They're trying to save their own fan base.
oh yeah,
Because if you look at what was that FPS game? Um,
Ubisoft.
yeah, Ubisoft's FPS game that had like a hero.
Was it Tom Clancy?
No, it was. Oh, give me 2 seconds. But anyways, it was it was good at the start, but just lacked content. It was X Defiant.
Okay, I
Okay.
forgot about that.
So X Defiant was free to play, and it lacked so much content. And the studio director actually came out on social media and was like, "Oh yeah, we've got so much planned for this game. We've got all this and all of that planned for the next 3 years." And a year later, the game shut down. It's I don't know. The last couple years for gaming has been absolutely horrible.
Ain't that the truth?
not
Now,
on and not only like am I just attacking Ubisoft, like I'm saying it against like EA, I'm saying it against Activision, and I'm saying it against who was the other one that dropped the ball on so many good games? Um oh God, what is that company called? Um it's the Gears of War company. Oh, the Coalition.
yeah, oh, man,
Those
it's been a while since I heard anything about them.
so much much of these games nowadays are just lacking content and they're just pushing more and more, how would you say it, pushing more and more quickly to the point where there's like unsolved bugs and there's um pretty much game killing glitches in it and it's no fun no more.
Yeah. Now, we will be going over to a different topic here in just a second. But if you are interested in Assassin's Creed Shadows, the platforms you can play it on is PlayStation, Xbox. You can get it on Steam, Ubisoft. If you're interested, check it out. Especially if you're a Assassin's Creed fan, I did play in the demo. I did enjoy the demo, but I feel like when it comes to Assassin's Creed, considering how long I've played the games, how long I've loved the franchise, I think my opinion's kind of null and void at this current moment since I haven't played the game myself fully. And like I said, there will be a part 2 once I get some hours under my belt in the game, and from that point, we're going to swap over to the information that Loki has for us today.
Yeah, well, speaking of games that are trying to save their own behinds on everything, we got Call of Duty coming in with the return of Verdansk. I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know, the nostalgia effect that I feel that they're bringing back Verdansk might help bring a little bit of the population back to the game, but Call of Duty's dying, and it's
Fast.
it's it's not good. I mean, the past couple of days have been some some light peeking towards the end of the tunnel for Call of Duty. And what I mean by that is they just shut down 5 cheating software companies. Now, is it gonna stop all the cheating? No. But is it starting to show that, hey, Call of Duty's actually like taking more initiative into finding some of these cheats? Yeah. But in the long scheme of things,
This is going to happen again.
Call of Yeah, exactly. Call of Duty needs to figure out a kernel drive that is actually going to work. Ricochet has dropped the ball now for the past 5 years. Well, technically, it'd be, well, MW19, Cold War, Vanguard, NW2, MW3, and now Black Ops 6. 6 years. 6 years. Ricochet has dropped the ball on an anti cheat software. It was good when Verdansk came around, but then and when I say good, it was mid. It was mid at best. Um Now the past 6 years it's only gotten worse, and with Black Ops 6 releasing it's gotten to the point where the game is just unplayable. Every lobby I've ran into or a buddy of mine has run into, we've all found a cheater. Now, however, I will say, like I said, there's light at the end of the tunnel that is starting to show. Not only have they now found 5 cheating software services that they've shut down, the past week I have gotten notifications of player has been banned and actions have been taken against. That is the first time I have gotten one of those messages since Black Ops 6 came out. Now, does that mean that everything is now kosher with the report system and the anti cheat system? No. Now, is it a sign that, hey, they're starting to update things and maybe it's starting to come back? Yes. Yes. But I'm only taking it with a hint of
Grain of salt.
Yeah, pretty much a grain of salt on this one. Now with the return of Verdansk coming back, they are also bringing back the HDR, which is everyone's beloved sniper,
Your camera
the
froze.
AMAX. They're bringing back the AMAX, and they're bringing back the Kilo, and they're bringing back the oh god, there was one more AR that they're bringing back. The Grau. They're bringing back the top 4 guns of meta for the first one, two,
Your camera
yeah,
froze.
for the first Modern Warfare 2019 game. They're bringing back the meta from that. Now, the issues I have right now is a lot of the meta that was in Modern Warfare 2019. Oh, camera froze.
Yep, I've said it twice now.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I was just going into conversation.
So, unfortunately, the past couple days, Loki's been having some tough technical difficulties, and
With the camera for some reason.
oh yeah. Also, viewers watching, have y'all been having any issues with Twitch recently?
Yeah, I mean, we can get into that here in a second too, because it's been horrible. There we go. Camera's back on.
All right, continue on with what you're saying about COD.
So the issues I have with COD right now is they're trying to say pretty much beat around a dead horse at this point. The rumor that they have kind of teased right now is if Verdansk doesn't bring back the population of players that were at the start of Black Ops 6, they're shutting down Warzone. Now, it's a skeptical rumor, like I said, but it's the end.
Is it Warzone that's having the issues, or is it COD itself?
Warzone. Warzone is free to play, and it's just becoming a cheater's worst nightmare. The one thing I said that could possibly save Warzone, and I've said it multiple times, is so they have an email and a telephone lock on it. You have to put in your phone number, you have to put in your email to make sure that you have your account saved, right? If they were to IP lock onto what you were using and then you were caught cheating and IP ban you, that would pretty much kill you pretty much on playing. Is what they need to do.
See, I agree with you on that, but at the same time, I can see there being an issue with unintentional bans happening.
So, okay, so what the IP lock would do in the long scheme and spectacle of mind here is the IP lock would pretty much, if you were hacking and Activision ran their background check on code, and if you were clear, you wouldn't be banned. If you were caught, you'd be banned.
See, it's a great
It's a great concept.
Yeah, it's a great hypothesis on it, but at the same time, you'd also still get banned because something would happen, it would pop up a thing, and then you'd say, "Oh shit," or "God damn it," and then next thing you know, you'd be banned for cussing.
Okay, so that's totally different from an actual cheating ban, though. That's just a comms ban. Comms bans don't really do anything other than kick your comms off. That's all comms bans do. We're talking like the aspect of you changing said code in game to basically make you a better player.
What
Like
I'm saying, saying is like, if you get suspected of this, do you get a detention time? You know what I mean? Like, do you go to timeout? Do you?
No, you would get banned because
No, I'm talking like, okay, so I get what you're saying though. Like you're saying in general after they process everything.
yes.
What I'm talking about, say you and me are playing Warzone. I shoot you. oh no, Dreadthor is a fucking hacker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You report me. During that time of the report to the time they start the process, what happens there? You know what I mean? Like
So
we know
nothing would.
we know Call of Duty and how they handle these type of things. Normally, you're going to get like a 3-day ban to give them time to look at stuff.
Yes.
So
So
do
you wouldn't get banned right away until actual proof has been shown.
I see? I don't see Call of Duty doing it in that manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see like, oh, Loki's pissed off at me because I got a ricochet shot on his ass, and he reports me. Okay, well now I can't play the game for 3 days.
No. Okay. Okay. So how it would work is you would still be able to play because Call of Duty's how would you say it, kernel drive cheat, that anti cheat that they have right now, what it does is just reads off of like every game you've played, everything that you've done, and then looks back at the codes and stuff of all that. And what it would do is if it would find something out of place, whether it's a code that gives you aimbot or a code that gives you walls, then it would kick you off. Call of Duty, when like let's say right now, if I were to ban you or like quote unquote
Report me.
report you and all that, yeah, it does a background check on you. And if it bans you, it bans you. But then you can go on the next day or even that day, go to Blizzard, make a new account, and then come back on the Call of Duty Warzone and actually cheat again. Like that's the issue. You can come up with 1,000 emails for Blizzard and basically how would you say it? Basically play again and start cheating again on a new account.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that could help save Warzone in the long scheme of things is the fact that you could make Warzone payable. Like you have to buy a game to play Warzone. For instance,
That's the way it
if
used to
they
be.
want to, yeah, if they want to make Call of Duty, or if they want to make Warzone free to play, you have to buy a Call of Duty every year to play Warzone.
See, I like the idea at the same time I hate it.
Well,
Because
it'd still technically be quote unquote free to you,
no,
but
it's essentially at that point you're paying for DLC.
isn't that what we're doing every year though?
No, because like I don't have to have Black Ops 6 to play Warzone. Like
Okay.
I feel like if as long as you own Call of Duty, like say within the past three within the past 3 year the three current games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you should be able to play Warzone.
Okay.
But like you wouldn't have access to, say you have the oldest one, you wouldn't have access to the guns for that one, for the second one and the third one.
Yeah.
But
So another thing that they could do, and this is another long shot in the dark here. Another thing that Call of Duty could do is make it subscription based.
I could see that working, but at the same time, it's just like everything's turning into a subscription base nowadays.
It is. Everything is a money grab at this point. That was weird. My thing vibrated and I haven't gotten any message. Yes, it is a subscription base at this point anymore, but the thing that Call of Duty could do would be that.
I mean, anything to get them more money, they'll do it.
Oh, 100%.
um,
Um,
I feel
well, yeah.
like when it comes down to Warzone and the current Call of Duty, I think personally they're doing too much.
Yes, 100%.
I feel
They
like
also
I feel like Warzone themselves needs a development team specifically for them and only them not a shared team. Like they
with
need
like the actual Call of Duty game and then the Warzone game.
exactly. Like now, if they want to put the current Call of Duty guns and stuff in there, they can transfer the files to it. But it needs to be its own separate entity.
Oh, 100%. Another thing that Call of Duty has failed to do is they have they failed to listen to the fan base so many times.
Oh, especially this current one.
Yes. So everyone wants the pick 10 system, which yes, the pick 10 system was perfectly fine in the OG games. But honestly, I like having all these attachments on my guns. Um I am one of the rare fan base of the game that likes the 5 to 8 to 10 attachments on my gun because it makes it look more realistic for an arcade shooter. I was real hyped for what was it, Vanguard, when I could attach like 10 things to my weapon, because in real life, when you think about it, you can add a sight, another sight on the side for cannering. You can add rail grips. You can add a foregrip. You can add a suppressor. You can add a longer barrel. You can add an extended mag. You can add a rear grip. You can add a laser, a flashlight, or
Stock.
even yeah, and a stock. And you can add um what do you call it? And you can add a flip mag to it too. So when you really look at all this in perspective of Call of Duty, it's like, yes, it's an arcade shooter. If it's going to be an arcade shooter, go back to how would you say it? Go back to like Advanced Warfare or even like any of those where it's like a legit arcade. But a lot of us who have been around the COD community love the realism, quote unquote, that like the original COD 4 did, or even um World at War or Black Ops, the OG Black Ops did. Yes, when you play the campaign, when you look at those guns in the campaigns, the M4 that you ran around with as soap had a laser, a suppressor, and a red dot, and then a stock added to it. But the stock and the grip and all that were never attachments. It was the red dot and the suppressor. Even the laser was never a option as an attachment in the OG CODs. But yet here you are running around the campaign with them. And I think that's what a lot of people have really hated about these newer CODs is the campaigns aren't really mind-blowing anymore. It's all predictable almost. And with that being said, Black Ops 6's campaign was so unrealistic to the actual campaigns that they've been running from like MW19 looked way more realistic and played out than MW3, Black Ops 6, Cold War, and Vanguard. I hate to say it. MW2 was up there with the MW19 campaign as you were going through South America and through like the cartel area. Like to me, that was perfect. To me, that showed like a different aspect of the Modern Warfare series because you were tying into going after where the nukes and stuff came from. But MW19 and MW2 and MW3 and all of this has pretty much left the storyboard like completely because And when I say that is because Makarov didn't die. So where does Black Ops 6 even tie into that story? Like they wanted to. Like none of these things have tied into the Modern Warfare series like Cold War tied into Modern Warfare 2019 or even Vanguard tying in. Like none of these newer games have really tied the campaign or Warzone storyline to anything. Um
I want to
MW2 was MW2 was like the closest one to
continuing the
get,
storyline.
yeah, to even like try to continue the storyline. The other aspect that I saw with the uh whole, how would you say it? The whole storyline of Cold War and MW19 was you went after Zakhaev in Cold War. You went after Makarov at the end of Cold War. And now we just got nothing. So where does the storyline even like continue now? Like yes, they've added some stuff that have kind of tied in, but now it's just pretty much fan service. Like you've discontinued your storyline for the past 3 years now,
I gotta
and
say, one of the
now you want to
things
bring
I
it back.
really enjoyed whenever I played COD, as you know, I've been a COD fan for many years.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
this is the first Call of Duty that I haven't bought, and that's saying something. Considering I've purchased every Call of Duty prior to this. Um, the storyline, garbage.
Yeah.
The amount
So
of time and effort that they put into understanding what's going on and what's going wrong with the game, garbage. The way they respond to issues, garbage. The
so a lot of like, how would you say it? A lot of the issues they have is a lot of the OG devs have left Call of Duty, and my camera froze.
no, it didn't.
Oh, on my screen it did. A lot of the OG devs pretty much left. Like all the good story writers have left Activision. Now I don't know where they went to, but it's a sad reality of we lost some of the greatest storyline creators ever. And another thing that we can talk about is AI in Call of Duty. AI, they were so defensive, and I mean so defensive to say that hey, we we don't use AI. Like all of our artwork is us. We don't use AI. We don't use AI. About a month and a half into season 2 now, a lot of the images that we use are AI. Okay, so you've defended and stood your ground and were so against us saying that you were using AI, and out of nowhere now you have come out and said, "Oh, we use AI for all of our loading for a couple of our loading screens and this and that." When everyone that has said it was like Woods' voice changed throughout some of the stories, or such and such voice changed in zombies, and it's like you guys can defend all you want, but we as players and as people who
Fans.
bought into this game as customers of yours have found out that you guys are pretty much going the cheap route and the cheap and just cheaping out on everything. You are basically money grabbing at this point as a studio.
And that's without the microtransactions.
Oh, 100%. Even And even some of the microtransactions for the skins that they have are all AI based. And it's like, oh, okay, where is the realism of real art? Where is the line that you guys want to draw where AI will be used? Like, I can understand like a loading screen because it's a standstill picture, but you've got guns and you've got skins that are so bugged because of AI created and they were never play tested. So where do you draw the line, COD? I mean, all of us as uh, content creators like myself who play Call of Duty, who have enjoyed Call of Duty up until recently, pretty much. Like, yes, we've all had our gripes all the way through. Like, Cold, Cold War was a decent COD. I just did not like the movements in it. But from Vanguard all the way to now, we've had so much negative uh, attention to the point you guys have dropped the ball on Call of Duty, and you just keep lying to us, and uh, you keep telling us like these aren't the issues, but these are, and we're telling you it's not that. You guys just suck as a studio. I'm just gonna flat ass say it. You guys at Activision suck as a studio.
Now, some of the things that I've seen, and this is just because I have a lot of friends who are Call of Duty streamers. One in chat right now is B Wizzle, great friend of mine. Um, he's a hardcore Warzone streamer, and I have watched so many times of flaws happening during gameplay. I've watched him be in a loading screen, and next thing you know, poof, he's out of the game. I've watched so many like fatal errors when it's come to the game that it's not fun. Like as a person viewing a content creator, it is not fun to watch them go through so much disheartening disruptions in the game. Like
Oh,
Activision
100%.
needs to, get their thumbs out of their ass and start listening to their community and fix stuff before they destroy the franchise. No
Oh,
more
100.
no more 1 month vacations. No more we think this is right, you're wrong bullshit. No, listen to your customers, listen to the people actually playing the game, because obviously you're not playing the game. And for the love of God, chill with the fucking shaders. Like,
I mean,
there should never be a 200 gig download for an update.
oh,
Chill
100,
with the shaders.
oh, 100%. And the fact that they've come out with the option of how would you say it, compressing the files and just flat ass said, no, we're not doing that. I mean, I guess welcome to the modern age of Activision where we just ignore our fan base and ignore our main players in business.
Welcome to
You might as
Activision.
well,
It's our way or no way.
pretty much. I was gonna say, you pretty much you want to learn how to fix your fan base. You want to fix how to um you want to fix how to enjoy a good game. I mean, you're not gonna do it. And okay, so I got another topic we can bring up tonight
Oh,
is Battlefield. So Battlefield 2042 started out extremely horrible.
mm-hmm. I played when it
Ba-
started.
Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, both amazing games. Well, Battlefield 5 is a hit or miss, an amazing game. Battlefield 1, top tier, next to BF3 and Bad Company 2. Definitely Battlefield 1 was amazing on the whole aspect of not only gameplay, but cool way to do a story. And let alone bringing in things like dreadnoughts, where you can bring in a giant blimp with LMGs on it if you were losing, or even the boat on one of the DLCs to come in and just basically annihilate the whole island. Um, fantastic game. One of my top favorite games was the uh, Battlefield 1. But 2042 dropped the ball when it first came out. It's gotten a lot better. Don't get me wrong, it's gotten better. But when it first came out, it was just completely laggy. The textures were like not even there. Uh, destruction was so glitchy that you would die from like 40 feet away from an exploding building, which granted in real life would probably happen. Um, but Battlefield just dropped a alpha uh, for players to test, and some of the alpha gameplay actually leaked. Now they are stepping up, and what I mean by that is the game looks, yes, there's like no textures to the game at all right now, but the shading on it and the weapon or the gunplay and how the health works looks phenomenal. It is stepping up its game, and I've gotten into multiple arguments about this to the point where people were starting to come at me for it, which whatever, on my social media. They I said this looks really good, but their biggest competition right now is going to be Delta Force.
Oh yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
so this new Battlefield has an option now where, let's say you go down, Dread, I can basically carry you or drag you to a safe location and revive you.
See, I feel that should have been a feature in Battlefield and other war games for the
It should
longest time, and it took
not only
fucking Fortnite to get people to really think about it.
so not only can you drag someone to get revived, but it's now they're bringing back the old specialist system where you have assault, scout, sniper, LMG, and engineer. They're bringing all that back again, and they're bringing
I didn't know they got rid of it
in 2042 they did. It
because
was,
at the beginning of 2042 you still had it.
yeah, they got rid of it later on in 2042. It was more like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where it was hero based. They based they basically went the Rainbow Six Siege route.
I'm gonna keep my opinion shut on that because Mama always said if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say
But they
anything at all.
also have I mean, I've already dropped so much hate against Call of Duty, but yet
That's Call of Duty.
back, back, back here in the corner here, right behind me, is a
Monster Call of Duty box.
Monster Energy Call of Duty collab box that I've gotten from them. But no, when you look at like, because EA's in hot water, Activision's in hot water, and Ubisoft is in hot water, and then when you really look at the long scheme of things, it's like you guys rush these games out for no reason, and you wonder why they fail.
Yeah, it's just completely wild in my mind that, and this isn't just gaming, the gaming industry, this is all major industries in this world. And I can't speak for other countries, but at least in the United States, I see it more often than not. And there's a term that we like to use: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep. So
And
okay,
these major companies, and especially in gaming and in other industries, instead of fixing the broke, They try to save a few cents on what's not broken. They end up breaking it.
Oh, 100%. Um, so the other big thing that I have is when you really look at, let's look at Hearthstone, for instance. Hearthstone came out almost, what is it,
I'll tell you in just a
10
second.
years now? 11 years? I think it came out in 13.
14 March. Actually, they just hit their birthday, March 11th, 2014.
Yeah. So 11
So
years.
yeah,
Hearthstone came out 11 years. It's still a game that is full of people playing it right now. And you want to know something funny? They only drop an expansion every quarter of the year, and it is optional. And the game itself has literally stayed the same for the past 14 years and still has a high population on it.
that's because they also like to implement new game modes, which is really nice because you have your standard mode. A mode that's really brought me back to the game, which Loki introduced me to, is called Battlegrounds.
Oh, I love Battlegrounds.
And actually this morning when I got off work, I came home and played about 3 rounds of Battlegrounds because you're like, you need to play more solos.
Yeah. So, if for everyone that's wanting to know, I've been kind of teaching Dreadthor on how to play Battlegrounds more and more. So he's getting there. He's getting there. It's just we
Well,
need
I'll
to.
tell you this on my solos. I was running the one of the games. I was in first place the entire game until I just didn't get any draws to really boost my Nagas.
Hmm.
And then the second game, I came in second place, and the only reason I came in second place was there was some glitch, and none of my creatures got their buffs.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, I had like a 122, 122, and everything else was 80 plus. And when they went into battle, they were all stock base.
Huh. But yeah, I think that if Call of Duty wants to learn, or if any of these others really want to learn how to make a good game, they should really go back to every other year or every 3 years to drop a game. That way, not only do they have uh,
Time for development.
time for development, but they got time to fix everything that is
Oh,
broken within the game.
not to mention game. I miss the days. Okay, this is really going to show my age, and I don't know I'm 36. There used to be a company in the area that I live. I'm not going to say the name of the company because then everybody will know the area I live. Where they would put in the local newspaper looking for beta testers.
Hmm.
And you would work 4 hours a day. You would get paid. They would give you a lunch and drinks while you played. And your main job was to break the game.
Shoot,
And
I'd easily do that.
so when you would break the game, you would essentially have a record going and you'd write down the time that it happened and give like a brief statement of what happened and how it happened and whatnot. And they would hire 15, 16, 17, 18 year olds. And that's you would part-time job playing video games. And your whole purpose of playing the game was to break it, find out what's wrong with it, what they need to fix, how to fix it. And it was phenomenal. They need to bring that back because the people that are going to break the games are the players, not
Oh, 100%.
not Jonathan in marketing, not Tabitha in HR. No, you need to get yourself the gamers who play this game on a regular basis to come in there, play the game, find out what's wrong because they're going to put the time, they're going to put the effort because you know why? Those people that are playing the game to figure out the issues are the ones that are playing it every single day to promote your game even further. They're going to give more.
100%.
And it's not a paycheck to them. It's the aspect that they know that they helped fix that game. So, any major gaming company out there, bring in your gamers, bring in your customers to play your game as a beta tester and let them inform you of the situations and actually listen.
Right?
Because back then, when games came out, they were good from the start.
Oh yeah. So I don't know how big the rumor is because it came across my feed today, but they have announced possibly bringing back the SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs game again.
Really?
Which, if that is true, there is a huge, and I mean a huge, fan base out there waiting for this game.
You know, and another game I wish they'd bring back?
What's up?
Medal of Honor.
So, okay, that was one of, I think it was EA that did the last one.
Medal of Honor was by far better. Okay. Y'all can scrutinize me all you want on social media. Feel free. It was better than Call of Duty.
Let's see here. Medal of Honor. Game. There we go. It was, yeah, it was owned by EA and DICE. The last good one, and I wouldn't really say it was good, but Medal of Honor, just the PC. Well, how would you say it?
I never played it on PC. I was console back in the day.
Okay, so it was just Medal of Honor. That was what it was called. Just Medal of Honor was next. I think it was right before Warfighter or right after Warfighter. Did so horrible with not only glitches and bugs in the game, but it was almost like groundbreaking glitches in the game. EA rushed it because they were trying to get onto the next battlefield. So, in all honesty, it kind of screwed them on that, and they lost, I think, the contract for it.
Medal of Honor Rising Sun was one of the best games ever.
I forget which one it was on the GameCube. That was the one I
That was
played
Rising
the
Sun.
most. No, it was a different one. Frontline.
Let's see here.
Frontline had pretty much one of the best D-Day uh, style campaign missions out there.
Like when it comes to the games themselves, like Medal of Honor was by far better than Call of Duty. And
Oh yeah,
if they would have stuck with their, I mean, they made so many Medal of Honor games,
they
and
did, they did. But
above
when
and
you
beyond,
really,
above and beyond. Okay, so I have this pulled up right here. So Medal of Honor came out in 1999. Okay,
yep.
and then it came out with games constantly from 99, 2002, 2002, 2003, 2004, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. And then there was an 8-year gap between Medal of Honor Warfight and Above and Beyond, which Above and
So
Beyond came out in 2020.
so the issue I had with Medal of Honor, the recent one, was like there was a mission where it was like you have to enter and clear a room. So I went in and started
Camera froze again.
did it?
Yep.
It's showing perfectly good on your screen.
That's because I have a delay.
Oh, yep, there it goes. This damn game camera. It was working for quite some time too.
His camera's being a lot like Call of Duty right now. Not listening. Haha.
Not not listening and freezing up. But so the thing that I had with the issue with uh Call of Duty. All right, let's fix it.
There you go.
There we go. Was the fact that there was a mission
You
that
mean
you had to
Medal of
go
Honor?
clear an under. Yeah, Medal of Honor. There was a mission that I had to go in and clear out a room. Well, said room pretty much had no floor in it. So once you walked into the room that you needed to clear out, you basically fell through the map and died. And
Was this Above and Beyond?
no, this was the very first uh EA what do you call it? The very first EA rendition of Medal of Honor for the Xbox 360. This is when they tried bringing it back. But yeah, it was just horrible. The other thing that would be awesome if like Medal of Honor would go back to its actual roots and not go to the modern
DreamWorks.
times. What's up?
It was originally made by DreamWorks.
That was probably back like on the first two PC games.
Medal of Honor is a series of first-person shooter video games created by American film director and producer Steven Spielberg. The first game,
Wait.
Medal of Honor, was developed by DreamWorks Interactive and published by Electronic Arts for the PlayStation in 1999. So, it was made by film directors and producers.
Yep.
Steven Spielberg worked on Medal of Honor.
Which would explain why the D-Day scenes looked more actual.
Realistic.
Yep.
And that's one thing I loved about Medal of Honor. It was very realistic. And, it was just overall a way better game than Call of Duty.
So one thing that I did find kind of absolutely funny with the whole how would you say it? With the Medal of Honor and EA was once the Xbox 360 came out, they went to modern times. And I think that's where they really dropped the ball was the modern gaming and aspect.
Let's see here. Which one was it? I remember playing that one. I remember playing Underground. Let's see here. Rising Sun in 2003. Me and my buddy played that game so much, we had to get a new copy of it.
So it was like that. The last time I actually had to buy a game to get a new copy of it was Modern Warfare 3, and I went and the OG Modern Warfare 3, and I went through 9 copies.
Oh dang!
I am still in the top 1,000 of the world on S&D, unless some cheater changed that. But I haven't played it since for a while either. But I was one of the, if not top players on S&D on MW3.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Like that is one game I really enjoyed playing. That was like the last good Call of Duty for me, anyways. Like anything after that kind of went downhill.
Big one for me was OG Modern Warfare 2.
OG MW2 was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. But there was something about There was just something about the cheating in that game than anything else. Like you could go in and like you can have some dude just running around with like infinite RPGs and stuff like that. And then you go then you can go around and like there'll be dude with like infinite throwing knives. He's just throwing them left and right. Ah, the nostalgia days of when cheating was actually kind of funny and fun at the same time. Because you could literally walk around with your fingers going like this and like shooting AC 130
Yep.
stuff out of your fingers.
You're
Everyone
sitting
was
there.
like, "What is this?" Yeah, like literally, someone was shooting the AC 130 rounds, which was absolutely hilarious. But
That's great.
yeah, I don't know. Gaming these days is not what it used to be. It's yeah, you got
As the
these like
saying goes, back in my day.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, for instance, Gears of War. There's another one we could talk about for horrible gaming and all that. If you go back through Gears of War 1, Gears 2, and Gears 3, by far the like top 2, maybe even top 5 of Xbox exclusive games, not only for storyline, not only for multiplayer, but for what it gave you. Like it gave you a survival mode, it gave you a co-op where you can play the campaign with your buddy. It gave you a fantastic multiplayer, and the fan base was absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd have to. I would say like another really good one would that be in all honesty, which I did not play. I was more of a PlayStation, but Halo.
yeah, don't get me started on Halo. Halo,
Halo was
the first ever
another
Halo game.
like
Go ahead.
that series. The I think Halo was the one that introduced co-op, like the co-op mode, whenever it came to campaigns. Really,
I don't know. I think Gears came out the same year Halo did.
let's see here.
You look up Halo, I'll look up Gears.
So Halo released in November 15th, 2001, and
Okay, so yeah,
Gears released in
Gears
November
came out in
7th.
2006.
Yeah, so they both released in November, but 5 years apart. So I just have to say, like, when it comes down to it, like Halo was very innovative when it came down.
100%. Like, okay, so the thing with Gears of War though was the when did Halo do the co-op for campaign?
Let's see here.
Because I don't think there was a co-op for campaign until like 2 or 3. But I
Halo
could be
2.
wrong. Halo 2? That's what I thought. And when did Halo 2 come out? Like 2004, wasn't it? Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, 2004.
And you said Halo 1 came out in 2001?
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you look at that? Look at that.
Almost exactly 3 year difference, because Halo 1 released in November 7th. Actually, yeah, it was a 3 year, because it was November 7th and they released it Halo 2 in November 9th. So it was 3 years and 2 days.
So when you really think of that, Halo wasn't mass produced back then. And let's look at Gears of War, shall we?
And Halo 3 didn't release until September 25th, 2007.
Let's look at Gears of War games here real fast. So Gears of War came out in 2006. 2008 came along with Gears of War 2. Gears of War 3 came out with came out 3 years later. Gears of War Judgment, which was the biggest flop in any Gears of War game, pretty much that's when it started going downhill, came out 2 years later. But that's when they were dealing with the whole Cliff Bleszinski and um, I forget what his company was called, but that was when they started splitting. And then Gears of War came out Gears of War 4 came out, and then Gears 5, which were both theoretically 3 years after each other. And Gears of War 4 was the biggest flop ever, and Gears of War 5 was the biggest flop ever. And the storylines were the biggest, pretty much, turds of Gears of War campaigns ever, which they could have went to like what they're doing now, which is trying to regain their fan base by going back to the horror-esque style storyline and the more gruesome gameplay. And in all honesty, if they would have did that through Gears of War 4 and Gears 5, it would have been perfect. Now, the other thing that they could have done to save their franchise as well was go back to not E-Day, but it was like their victory day in the Pendulum Wars. They could have made a Pendulum Wars game. Also, to put a top on that, they came out with a game called Gears Tactics, which was horrible for anything. Like, if you want to make a tactical shooter or a tactical war game, do what Halo Wars did. Halo Wars was fantastic. They took what was and will forever be one of the greatest RTS style games. They took something like Empire at War, and they took something like Command and Conquer, and built one around their game, making Halo Wars. Now, if Gears of War would have done that, do you know how many people would actually play that game? There would be quite a bit, because there is a lot of RTS people out there right now.
Oh yeah. You
I
know,
still to this day play Star Wars Empire at War.
so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all the Halos and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halo 3, 2007. Halo Reach, 2010. Halo 4, 2012. Master Chief Collection, 2014.
Yeah, I mean, these companies are just dropping the balls left and right.
It's crazy. Like, you think about the, like, yes, I know technology is a lot better than it used to be. I understand that 110%. But at the same time, 3 years in development before release. There's a reason for that.
Yep, and it made some of the best games when you push back your release times.
Yep.
But these companies don't know how to do that. But yeah, that's welcome to gaming nowadays, everyone. Welcome to gaming nowadays. But on another note, I mean, what else are we to expect? They just throw us anything on a hot plate and just leave it there.
Yep.
And then they're like, "Oh, it's a good game. It's a fantastic game." And then you play it and you're like, "Oh, this is the hottest garbage ever." Or for instance, and this is nothing against, how would you say it? This is nothing against any streamer. Like, I get it. We all want to chase the money bag. We all want to chase the goals of being partnered with these games. But when you're not honest with these gaming companies, at for instance, at a, how would you say it? if you're not honest at a invitational event that you're being brought to and you're like, "Oh, this is a fantastic game." And then like once it drops, you go on Twitter or X as it's now named. I still call it Twitter to this day. And you go on there and you attack them because of how terrible it is, goes to show that if you were straight up in the first place to them on telling them that, hey, this is the biggest piece of garbage that you have done, probably would have changed the outcome of the game.
Well, here's another thing. I got to emphasize a little bit on that because I have been to a couple of game releases and events stuff like that in my past, and I'm not going to name games that I went to or anything like that, but I will say this: at those events, you don't get the full gameplay. You get portions, so they may know some areas are bad, but they're not going to put those in the gameplay events.
So, oh, okay. So I'm gonna pause right there on that. So when, for instance, I'm just gonna drop it right now. Call of Duty, when they did the Verdansk thing, I'm willing to bet you $1,000 right now that swagging them when they went there, they're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." I'm willing to bet you money right now. They come back and say, "This this is horrible. You need to fix this." And is it going to happen? Nope, because you didn't tell them to fix it when it was there. You played on a private server. So of course it's going to be good because you're playing on a private server. But when you don't come out and hit the issues at hand, for instance, you're going to become you're going to make them make a game that you are against.
See,
And that is the biggest problem that these gaming companies are running into right now, is the fact that they're going off of streamers voices rather than the actual player base at hand. And I have said it before, I'll say it again, that instead of listening to these streamers who are just doing this for the money grab, that they just start listening to the community again.
well, here's another thing you also got to look at, and this isn't. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not saying it because I don't know. I've just know what I've seen in the past and things I've read about and whatnot. And a lot of the times, people are paid to say what the company wants.
And that's the issue. And that is the biggest issue. And until the streamers and everyone else start saying, no, we don't want to go to these events and stuff like that, to finally stand up with the actual player base rather than just themselves, then yeah, we'd be in a different story.
Yep.
But yeah, that's enough of me ranting about games because Jesus, I can go on forever. It's if, like I said, if games want to survive, games want to thrive even more than what they are now, they need to stop listening to streamers, listen to the fan base, and fix things that pretty much are broken.
So, and we're going to break this down in a quick phrase for everybody out there, and for all you gaming companies out there. Listen to the gamers, not your teams.
Yep.
The gamers know what's going on. The gamers play it every day. And don't look at just the big streamers. Look at all the streamers. Try to get your development teams out there and watch the streams. You have access to this type of community nowadays.
Yep.
Get out there. Support the community that you're building with your game. Watch them. Learn from them. That's all there is to it. If they see something big, they're going to say something in their stream. I can guarantee it.
I mean, for instance, let's take a look at Delta Force here. Delta Force is open into their community. Yes, they haven't. The only complaint that I've seen so far is just the announcements of when it's coming to console or when it's coming to which have announced the mobile. They just haven't announced the console yet. But at the same time, they have been open on changes that have been coming, and they've also been open about like, hey, this bug needs fixed. We can fix it, and we're going to on this such and such update. And I mean, what's cool is like Dreadthor and I both said on the last episode was that we were very open on Delta Force. Like we played it for the first time together, and on the same night, both him and I fell in love with the game. I mean, I found no issues with the game. Yes, there was some
I,
issues where the hits were a little off, but they have since fixed that.
I think my biggest
And
issue with the game whenever we first played it was I kind of wish there were more maps.
oh, 100%. And,
And
and they're adding them every season now, which is
exactly.
awesome.
And it's just like I made that comment and I made that on stream. And you were there whenever we had the Delta Force developer in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's something we're working on. And I'm like, first of all, who are you? Second of all,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, I'm with Delta Force. And, we followed you on Twitter the other day. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, both
And,
of us actually got followed by Delta Force on Twitter,
and,
which is awesome.
just to have one of the devs come in there and actually listen. And I'm not a big streamer. I'm not, I have a small following. I enjoy what I do. But to have a developer take the time out of their day, come into my stream, watch and listen to someone they just followed on Twitter, and then
Yep.
actually respond saying, that's something we're working on. That's one of the coolest things ever. Because that shows they're listening to their people. They are taking feedback. They're putting it down. They're doing it right.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much listening to their fan base. I mean, like I said, the only issue I had was just the communication on the release of the console version. But to an extent, if you were to say like such and such date is when the game's going to come out for console, you have to hit that deadline now. Like there is no polishing, no finalizing, no fixing what you need to fix within that certain deadline once you say a such and such date. And once you say a date, or if you say like this is the day it's going to release, and then you discover there's an issue and you try to push it back, you are going to cause more backlash and more hate for your community from your quote unquote community that, and I'm saying quote unquote because there's a lot of people out there who will trash a game. There'll be like the fake fans or the fake community that'll be like, oh, I'm so hyped for this game. I'm going to love it. I love it right now, blah, blah, blah. And then like, they'll be like, oh, we're going to postpone it. Oh, this game sucks. Why are you guys got to postpone it? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, they're postponing it because they're fixing it. Quit being an ass.
I will say I'm calling myself out.
I mean, we've all done it once or
Um,
twice, but there is just that
Assassin's
dedicated.
Assassin's Creed, going back to the start of the podcast here, announced that they were going to release on February 14th of this year.
Yep, which was your
And
birthday.
exactly. I was super excited. I took time off work. I requested days off to play that game for 72 hours straight.
Yep.
And on it was like February 12th. They announced they were pushing it back to March 20th.
And what I thought was funny was so with the so with that whole like fan base issue where it's like everyone trashing these games, it's like, okay, if you are a real big fan of this game, you would respect the fact that hey, they're postponing it because they want to fix said game to make it a better experience for you as a consumer, as a player, but yet you want to sit here and cry all day because so and so paused the game because they wanted to fix this when I really was hopefully going to play it. And when in the long scheme of things, you've gotta pretty much just at that point just I don't know.
See, my,
You
my
got
biggest gripe about it was the sheer fact that I took days off for it.
yeah.
Wasted vacation time.
Yep. And it's just I mean, and that's a lot of people, like they make or plan those vacation times for it, which is dumb. Like honestly, if I'm gonna take vacation for the game, or if I'm gonna, let's say, hold off for the game, I'm gonna how would you say it? I'm gonna actually hold off for a day until after said game comes out. I'm just gonna be brutally honest.
See, my biggest thing was like I when I heard of Shadows, I was so fucking excited, so excited. And then I
Oh,
found out it was
every
releasing on my birthday. I was just even more excited. So I was like,
but you got to
not only do I get to stream for my birthday, I get to play a game I love, and on top of it, it's being based in Japan. So like, it was just like excitement level upon excitement level upon excitement level upon excitement level upon excitement level. And then the more I looked into it, the more I got hyped. The videos I was watching, the more I got hyped. It was just. Let me just say it this way: on a scale of 1 to 10 on how happy I was about Assassin's Creed Shadows, I was a 9. I was over 9,000. Like, if my coworkers were in here, I would not shut up about it. Like, I saw the artwork that I'm posting right up here on the screen, and I was like, oh my god, I found out about the two main characters. I was like, mind fucking blown. This is great. And then I did all the new different things, and I was just like, oh my god. And my coworkers were like, dude, shut up.
but yeah, it's just one of those things, and I'm not going to go much more into griping on games and all that, but if they would just take the time, even if it's like withholding the release date, then I'm pretty sure games would be back to doing good. They just need to take their time, do things right, get them out. It
uh,
isn't it isn't it shouldn't be a yearly release. For instance, Call of Duty can go another 12 seasons for all I care if they want to make a good game again. They need to do it every other year, and just I don't care if you remaster a map for those 12 seasons as long as the next game is better than the last one I played. That's all I care about as a consumer for Call of Duty or any other game for that aspect, as long as the sequel is better than the first.
Now, I will say this. We're going to go into our final thoughts on everything and go through a little review of what we just went through. Um, so go ahead, Loki. I'll let you start with yours.
I
Just
mean,
get those final little thoughts out there.
I mean, at this point, Call of Duty, you're pretty much in dead water. I mean, Warzone at this point is a dead weight. I mean, yes, I play it a lot, but I don't know if you're going to be able to save it. Not unless you bring up the ping on your servers and create an actual anti cheat.
For me, I
But
gotta say, when it comes down to it, developers listen to your communities. Look into all the streamers, not just the top tiers. Um, Talk to your communities on social medias. Get a better social media person. Get two or three more of them so that way they can figure out what's going on so they can take notes for you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that is one thing that gaming companies should do is just
Listen,
hire some people to actually go within the communities and be like, hey, what do you guys think we can do to this game? It's not hard. But
natural feedback. I mean, there's suggestion boxes for a reason.
yes, there is. Yes, there is.
So, everybody, I want to say thank you once again for tuning into our second episode of the Asgardian Pub.
Yeah,
Um,
it's much love, guys. We already got 4 subscribers on YouTube already, so
and we are
that's awesome.
currently up to live viewers. We are at 10.
Nice, nice. So it's
Uh,
growing. It's
yeah,
growing.
thank you all for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. For the YouTube people, Um, comment down below. Tell us what games you think are having issues, or if you disagree with us on what we've stated in this podcast. We want to hear from you. So feel free to leave that comment down there. We will go through them. Me and Loki will take the time to read them and see what's going on.
And be sure to head on over to the Asgardian podcast or Asgardian Pub podcast over there on X as well. And turn your notifications on because this week I am going to be doing a couple of announcements dealing with a certain company. So be sure to see what's there. Also, you guys can follow me as well at TTV_Loki on X. And you can also follow Dreadthor at Dreadthor.
Simple. Any social
Yeah.
media, pretty much: Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, all Dreadthor.
Yep.
So until next time, guys, I'm Dreadthor,
I'm Loki.
and this was the Asgardian Pub Podcast.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace. Laters.